Okay, first thing we're going to take these three out. Now you have to be careful because there's some washers on here you don't want to lose. They keep from digging into your plate. See, there they are. You don't want to lose those guys. Put the holder off of there. You got to be careful now. These things are sharp. Now in the back, these things have got tension on the back of them. Carefully pull these up. Now we've got it out. Now you can take these two screws out, or not take them out, you just loosen them up because this is your blade adjustment screws. But you don't have to do that now. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get our belt sander and sharpen these blades. Sharpen this blade. Now this is where it's going to take a little time to get it down to know what you're doing. This again may take you several times to get it right. You've got plenty of blade to practice on. You do not want to change the angle of that blade. You want to try to keep it the same. So try to do your best to hold this on your sander the right way to get the right angle. Not too steep, not too far down. You can watch it as the belt sander's going so that you know you got the right angle. It's fairly simple to see. And then you just kind of work back and forth as the belt sander's running. And you don't want to push real hard, because what'll happen, you start pushing hard, you'll be trying to push one way or another too much, and then the next thing you know, then you got a blade that is either convex or concave. And that's not going to do you much good at all. Now if you have a variable speed sander, that is wonderful. You want to run it on the slowest speed so you have the most control. Now I'm going to try to hold this thing where you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, you can see how bright and shiny it is all the way across. That's what you want. You don't want it shiny at the top or shiny at the bottom. You want it shiny all the way across. That'll get you it. And then take your finger and drag it across the blade just real slightly. And if it catches in areas but doesn't catch in other areas, that means where your finger's not catching, that means it's not sharp enough yet. Go back to your sander. Okay. Shiny all the way across. Looks good. Finger catches. We're just barely come across there, and it's catching all the way across. It's almost like it's a piece of masking tape. You don't run your finger that way. You'll end up cutting. You want to come across. You just barely feel it. That's great. All right. Now that we're through sharpening it, we can take these two screws out. Take these two screws out because they're good for helping hold it. Okay, take your screws, just loosen them up a little bit. You don't have to loosen them up much. Slide this off. You usually got some junky buildup on the back. Lay this flat on your sandpaper. Run it back and forth. Turn it over, look at it. Shiny where it needs to be shiny. See, we're right across there. Everything looks great. Across that top edge. Down here, it doesn't matter. Just right up here. That'll help sharpen that edge right there. Slide this back on your retainer. Now, this is where this thing comes in handy. What you do, I hope you can see this real well. I'm going to take this off so I can show you. I'm going to do it like this first. Put it see these two little black springs right here. There's your screw, black spring, black spring. Take this, slide it to where it's setting on top. Your black spring gets loose. Okay? Push it until it slides down, tightens up between that screws. Just like that. Okay, we are down flush. We are against that stop. We are against this stop. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to do it again. We're going to go against that retainer. We're going to push it in, and it's going to come up against that stop, and it's going to come up against that stop. Push that down on there. Sets down on there. You push it back. Locks in. Alright? But that's with by itself. Now let's put I'm going to put the cutter on there. Okay? Got the cutter on there. It's loose. You can see the screws. Whoops, I just pulled it off again. Okay? Cutter is loose. Slide everything on here. Slide this. Your cutter is going to set, it's going to push against these two fiber washers. One on one side, one on the other side. This will slide down, set against them. Take your black retainer, push it down. Till it sets where it's locked in there, locked in on the other side. Well, I didn't want that thing to fall off again. Take your cutter, slide it down against that fiber washer, against that fiber washer. You just want to make sure that it doesn't back off away from the back of it as you're tightening it up. You can see how it's moving. That's what you want. Goes down against there and stops. Tighten up that screw. Tighten up this screw. Now you don't want to get them overly tight. You just want to snug them up. Even if you just want to use 2 fingers and tighten it as hard as you can, that's fine. Reach underneath, push it out, you're set. Get your planer. Obviously you have it unplugged. We have exactly the same thing on your planer. We have the black spring, both sides, right there and right here. This back part, right here, is what that thing is, what your retainer sits against. Take your blade, set it in there, push it till it drops down in there. Don't do anything else. That's it. Put your retainer ring on it, or your mounting bracket. Now it'll only go one way, so if you put it on one way and you can't get your bolts in, you need to take it out. Take this thing out and turn it over. Bolt. Take your washer. Set it in there. Don't tighten it up until you get all three of them in there. All your planers are pretty much the same. Black & Decker and Skill, they have the black planers and the silver planers, they have replaceable blades. You loosen up pretty much like a couple of these 2 or 3 screws or bolts. They slide out, then you get your new ones and they just slide in. No adjustment, no nothing. Okay, these are in. Tighten these up. Here again, tighten it as much as you can, but don't over tighten it. And that's it. You're done. There's your blade, good and sharp, ready for another job. And you're ready to go. Good, smooth edge. Now you know how to do it.